Hey, hi there. Welcome to the second part of interest rate concept series. In this video, we will discuss and break down nominal and real interest rates. Okay, so let's start with the video now. All right. So the core concept here is that the value of money changes over time. Okay, so let's understand this through a simple example. Okay, so imagine you have decided to save rupees 100, okay, in a deposit bank account, okay, and at the end of the period, so after 1 year, okay, you get rupees 5 as interest. Okay, so now your account has 105 rupees. Your bank account has now 105 rupees. Now you were excited by earning this 5 rupees, okay, and hence you decided to treat yourself, say, with a packet of biscuit. You decided to treat yourself with a packet of biscuit. Okay, so you went to the shop and asked with the shopkeeper for a packet of biscuit. Okay, and the shop owner tells you the cost for this biscuit, the cost is rupees 6. Okay, and you are shocked by hearing this. Okay, and you ask the shop owner that last year, that is 1 year back, the cost of the biscuit was rupees 5 only. Okay, 1 year back the cost of the biscuit was only rupees 5. How come rupees 6 now? You simply ask with the shopkeeper here. Now the shopkeeper tells you inflation is the culprit here for increasing the price of the biscuit. Okay, for increasing the price of biscuit, he simply tells you. Now you started thinking, oh, though my bank account has 105 rupees in my account, I mean in your bank account, you have 105 rupees instead of 100 last year you had only 100 rupees, now you have 105 rupees, but your money can buy less than it could buy 1 year back. So you can see here, 1 year back you could buy the packet of biscuit in rupees 5, but after 1 year you need 6 rupees to buy the same packet of biscuit. Okay, now you become curious to understand what exactly is this inflation. Okay, all right, so let's start with that. Let's understand what exactly is inflation. All right, guys, so now we have inflation. So what exactly is inflation? So inflation means nothing but the prices of goods and services increases over time. Okay, as the time passes the prices of goods and services increases. It doesn't mean that you suddenly have less money. Okay, it simply means that your money can buy few things few things now than it used to buy than it used to buy a year back or a year ago. Okay, this is what simply inflation means. Okay, so let's understand through an example. Okay, imagine that with rupees 100 a year back, you have 100 rupees, and with this 100 rupees you were able to buy a basket of goods that consisting three things, three goods. 1 kg of rice costing rupees 40, okay. 1 liter of this is rice. 1 liter of milk costing rupees 20, okay. And 1 dozen of eggs costing rupees 40 again. So overall in 100 rupees you were able to buy basket of three goods, okay. But now with the same 100 rupees you will not be able to buy the same thing. Now the cost of 1 kg rice, 1 kg rice is 50 rupees, okay. Cost of 1 liter milk is 25 rupees, and cost of 1 dozen eggs is rupees 50 again, okay. So overall you would require 125 rupees in order to buy the same uh, amount of goods of the basket, okay. Then it used to cost a year back, which used to cost 100 rupees. Now you need to pay 125 rupees, okay. So if you see here, you have the same amount of money, okay. You have the same amount of money, 100, but this rupees 100 cannot buy you the full basket, cannot buy full basket of products than what you used to buy a year back, okay. So this is inflation. This is the understanding of inflation, where your money has less purchasing power, okay. As the time passes, your money uh, value becomes less. Simply your money has less purchasing power. Now you might be wondering what exactly is purchasing power, okay. So let's discuss. I will give you an overview or an idea about what exactly is purchasing power. So let's understand that. All right. So purchasing power, okay, it is the quantity of goods, okay. Purchasing power, let me write the definition first. Purchasing power is the quantity of goods and services you can buy with a unit of money, okay. So purchasing power is the quantity of goods and services that you can buy with a unit of money. 1 unit of money, what is the amount of or quantity of goods and services that you can buy? This is simply the purchasing power. So for example, if for 100 rupees, for rupees 100, you buy 10 cups of tea, let's say 10 cups of tea today, okay. For rupees 100 you are able to buy 10 cups of tea today, and after 1 year, okay, you buy only 8 cups of tea, okay. This simply means the rupees 100 that you have, okay, has lost the purchasing power. Rupees 100 has lost the purchasing power. This simply means this, okay. Now why does inflation happen? This is a big question actually. Why does inflation happen? It is a big question to ask when you come to know about the inflation, okay. That inflation is stealing your money. If you see here, inflation is simply stealing your money. From the examples you can see. So why does inflation happen? So there are three main reasons for inflation to happen. Three main reasons. Okay, the very first one is the demand pull inflation, called as demand pull inflation. Okay, so this simply means there are more people who wants to buy the same goods than the quantity of that particular good available. So for example, let's say there are 100 chocolates available in a shop, but there are 150 people sitting in queue, standing in queue to buy the chocolates. Okay, when the shopkeeper will see this, he has only 100 chocolates and 100 people are there to buy the chocolates, he will simply increase the price of the chocolate. Okay, so the demand has increased for the chocolate, so the shopkeeper increased the price of the chocolate. So this is simply demand pull inflation. Okay, the demand has pulled the price of the chocolate. Now the second is cost push inflation. Okay, cost push inflation. So for any goods to be manufactured or any products to be manufactured, there are certain input costs like oil, it can be gas, it can be wages. Okay, it can be rents. So if the prices of these input costs rises, okay, in that case the cost of manufacturing will increase. Okay, when these will rise, cost of manufacturing will also increase, and in this case the cost of the final product will also increase. Okay, okay, so this is the idea of cost push inflation. Okay, so when the input cost increases, the prices of the final goods also increases. Now the third reason is money supply increases. When the money supply increases in a region, okay, that is, you can say, country, then also the prices of goods increases. So let's say if a government or the central bank of the country prints more money without increasing the production. So for example, let's say currently the production of any goods is 100. Okay, every year 100 quantity of goods is being produced, and this is the only production quantity right now also. But the government or the central bank prints more money, so there will be more supply of money in the economy, more supply of money in the region, and in this case also the cost of the the cost of the goods will also increase. Okay, so these are the three main reasons why inflation happen. Okay, so if you remember from our last video, that is the first part of interest rate concept series, where I had discussed about fixed and variable interest rates. Okay, so I had talked about repo rate in the previous video. Okay, in that video I had talked about repo rate. So repo rate is a tool, okay, that the central bank uses in order to control inflation. So central bank of any country has main objective to control inflation of the country. Okay, so repo rate is also is a tool actually to control the inflation of the country. Now, since we have understood what exactly inflation is, let us now understand what exactly nominal and real interest rate are. Okay, so the if you remember the example of bank, the deposit you had put in the bank. Okay, the bank told you that it would give you interest of 5% per year. Okay, that is per annum, whatever deposit you put in the bank. Now this 5%, okay, this 5% interest rate is called as nominal interest rate. The specified interest rate, the banker has specified a certain interest rate to give you on the deposit. That interest rate is known as nominal interest rate. Okay, this interest rate doesn't account for inflation adjustment. Okay, so you earn some interest, some percentage on top of your deposit, but also there is increase in inflation, there is increase in prices of goods, that is inflation has increased over there. Okay, so let's say the inflation is 4% for the year. Inflation is 4% for the year. In this case, the real interest rate is calculated as real interest rate is calculated as the nominal interest rate minus the inflation of the year, inflation for the year. Okay, whatever was the inflation in that year, that will be subtracted. So if the nominal interest rate that you earned on your deposit is 5% and the inflation in the country was 4%, your final, the real interest rate would be 1%. Okay, can you see here, though you had a feeling that you had earned 5%, okay, but the overall value of the money decreased in 1 year by 4%. Okay, this is due to inflation, and hence the actual value, if you see, actual value of your money has been increased only by 1%. Okay, so imagine if the interest rate on the deposit had been 4%. If the instead of 5%, if the interest rate had been 4% and the inflation was also 4%, you would end up earning 0 rupees, 0% or 0 interest you would have earned uh, in terms of real interest rate. Okay, and if the inflation had been 6%, for example, let's say instead of inflation being 4%, if the inflation had been 6% here, okay, and 5% was the deposit, so 5% minus inflation, nominal minus the inflation is your real. So here real interest rate is 1%. So simply you have lost the value of your money by 1%. Okay, so this is the concept of nominal and real interest rate. Nominal is simply the specified interest rate by the banker. Okay, and the real is the inflation adjusted interest rate, that is the nominal interest rate minus the inflation interest rate gives you real interest rate. Okay, so this is the overall concept of nominal and real interest rate. All right guys, so that's it for this video. Okay, thank you and happy learning. We'll see you in the next video soon. Thank you.